So, welcome to another Warrior Bowl mock draft. Today, we're going to be doing a head-to-head mock draft with myself and Foley. But instead of just a normal mock draft, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going with specific designated, predetermined plans into the draft. So, I'm going to be drafting heavy running backs early and late QBs, and this is a Superflex league, so we're going to see how that pans out. And Foley's going to be going 0 running back and early QBs. So he's not especially happy about that. That's not how we would like to draft. So
terrible idea.
But we're going to see how that pans out. We're going to see what the teams look like, and then you can all be the judge of that afterwards and let us know what you think, which team you prefer, which team think panned out the best. So ready to get going?
Yeah, I go to sleep at night drafting running backs early. So this is going to be completely and utterly tragic.
Well, it's it's good to test some things out, isn't it? Good to test things out.
I think this is going to be horrific. I'm going to be horrified. So let's go.
Let's do it. Sounds great.
Sunshine, how excited are you about the Warrior Bowl?
Hey, I cannot wait. Cannot wait to get cracking.
I'll bet.
It seems like a long time coming.
Talk to me then. So you're on the clock at 1-6. Dalvin Cook went at 1-4, which is absolutely crazy. But you fire away with your running backs.
So heavy running back is the strategy. So for me, again, that's a pretty easy decision.
Is it?
I would say so. I'm going to jump in on Zeke on that one. I think he's him or Kamara. He's probably the safer option, really. So I'm happy to jump in on Zeke on that one. Pretty straightforward decision. No, nothing really different there to if I was doing this normally anyway. So.
I'd probably take Kamara there just because of the upside. But you're right. I mean, Zeke is probably the safer pick by a long way. And when your first round pick, everyone always says it's about safety rather than upside, isn't it? You don't want to lose on your first round pick. So I've got to go wide receiver and QB heavy. I'm probably going to get the QB that I want in round 2. So I've got to go wide receiver here. On ADP, Adams is next with Hopkins just behind. I don't even think that's close. In fact, I think Adams is way ahead of Hopkins, especially with the team change. So I'm going to go Adams. I think Adams has got a very good chance to be wide receiver 1 this year. I think he's got a very good chance of beating Thomas to that. And it comes back round. I was hoping for Wilson, and he's gone just ahead of me. So I suppose I've got my choice of the next chunk of QBs, really. In terms of wide receivers, Tyreek's on the board. I actually think he's a bit too boom and bust, so I'm not really that interested in Tyreek. Godwin has got all the hype with Brady in the new offense, but if I'm going to go early wide receiver, early QB, I've got to take a QB here, I think. So I'm going to go for the massive upside of Kyler Murray just to see what would happen there, because he's got that potential to absolutely explode and blow the doors off the thing.
Absolutely. So for me then, looking at early heavy running back strategy again, and late QB. So again, let's have a look, see who we've got. So we've got Eckler, we've got Mixon, we've got Jones, Fournette, Sanders. So I guess
I think Sanders is the naughty shout there,
So the consensus pick really there is Mixon, isn't he? I would say.
Oh yeah, 100%. I've took him the first round of Dynasty startups this year.
It's not. It doesn't. I don't love it. It doesn't fill me with confidence, if I'm completely honest. But we'll go with it. We'll go with Mixon.
Me, man. You've got Zeke and Mixon. I've got Adams and Murray. I would give my left to have yours instead of mine already after 2 rounds.
Right. So back to me. Still with the heavy running back strategy. So this one, again, we've got a few guys here. We've got Sanders, we've got Gordon, Carson, Drake, Bell. For me, this is a pretty easy one. Sanders all day long. on that one.
Sanders
I
or
think
Drake?
for,
I mean,
for me,
Drake's got the safer work mode, hasn't he?
he probably has, but I think he's got the broader range of outcomes. He did nothing really before last year, did he? So
no, but he did a lot in a very short period. I've got Sanders in more leagues definitely, but I think redraft there's a shout there to say that Drake might have the edge on him. But yeah, I mean Sanders for me is the potential breakout running back of this year. Him and Jacobs, actually, I've got a lot of shares of them. I think they both got a chance of doing big things. So I've got to stick with wide receiver and QB. I don't want to, Greg.
Or tight end.
Oh, yeah. No, Kittle and Kelsey have gone, so what's the point? Although Andrews, I've got a bit of time for Andrews. But look, if I draft that team, I'm going to be physically sick. It's horrific.
That's the...
Oh,
this is the experiment.
No.
This is the experiment.
I hate
Anything but
it.
a running back. Anything but a running back.
No. It goes against everything I stand for, just so you know. But I then am going to take diabetes aside, who I think has a shot at tight end one this year, which is Mark Andrews. If anybody's got a shot of beating Kelsey and Kittle, I think it is Andrews in that offense. So I've now got a wide receiver one, Adams. I've got QB one, Kyler Murray, and I've got Andrews at tight end. If I'm going to go wide receiver and QB heavy, in Superflex, I've probably got to take QB now, then if that makes sense. So on the board, I've got Drew Brees, Matt Ryan, and then several others. Both of those in the NFC South think are going to throw the ball a hell of a lot. I think both can score a hell of a lot of points. I am a Saints fan, and Brees is my boy, so I'm going to take Brees as a massive homer pick there. But I also think he's got the chance to throw the ball that much that he's got a chance of being top 5 this year. So I'm happy with Murray and Brees there. The upside there is outrageous. I feel like I need a running back. Greg.
So we're now. So again, I'm not looking at QB because that's not on my strategy. Although to be honest, I don't think I'd be wanting to go QB at this point. I'd be wanting to wait now. We've missed all the top guys. Tight end, again, I don't think I want a tight end now those top guys have gone. I'm obviously waiting on wide receiver until later, so we're looking at running back again. And actually, Kenyon Drake, who we were considering in the last round, is now available at 4.407. So I will snap him up in a heartbeat and take my 4 running back.
Jeez, man. Look at that 4 running backs. Zeke, Mixon, Sanders and Drake. That's the kind of thing that makes me go to sleep with a smile on my face. And
that is happy days.
And no clothes on. That's my kind of draft.
For that image. So, okay. Back to me again. So
if you take another running back right now, I might have to take 5 minutes on my own.
I don't think I can. I think I'm gonna have to. I'm not gonna go QB. We're still waiting on that. I'm not gonna go tight end. So I'm looking at a receiver now. So who are we looking at this point? TY is the top one on the ADP. Metcalf, DJ Moore, who I know they're all popular picks. AJ Brown.
I know who I'd take there.
I know you'd take Moore, but I'm going to go, I think,
I would.
A little bit differently. I'm going to go Keenan Allen.
Wow, that is a statement in that offense, which is not supposed to score a lot of points. That's a statement. So I've got.
He's still a very good receiver, though.
Wait, am I allowed to take running back now? I am, right? Please, God, tell me, please.
Go on. We are in round 5.
Okay. So I've got a choice then of the old fellas. I've got David Johnson, Todd Gurley, Mark Ingram, James Conner, and then I've got the rookies, Clyde. So out of those oldies, the guy I've got ranked higher on my stats is Gurley, only because he's got the backfield of the Falcons. They're going to throw the ball a little bit more. They're going to throw the ball a lot more to the running back, actually, instead of Johnson, who doesn't really get the ball thrown to. I won't in Houston. So, yeah, I'm going to go Gurley as my running back 1, which doesn't feel good at all. I feel like I'd be completely missing the point of this exercise if I took another running back, which I'm desperate to do, Sunshine. I'm desperate to do. But I'm going to take another wide receiver because that's the game.
Okay.
I've got AJ Brown. I've got Gallup. I've got Tyler Boyd. I've got Landry. I've got Scary Terry. I've got AJ Green, Brandon Cooks, Hollywood. You've got an argument for any of those beating each other. In this kind of group of wide receivers for me, you've got a good chunk of 10, 15 wide receivers who you just got to take your pick on. And whoever you fancy is the guy you've got to put your money on. Do you know what I mean? They've all got the same kind of chance.
Yeah, absolutely.
So on that, I'm gonna shoot my shot. I'm gonna take my shot on the guy who finished last year the strongest, which is AJ Brown. If they keep the fact that they've signed Henry for me to that long-term contract means they're going to keep the offense similar. And although his efficiency might drop back, he's got all the chance in the world to increase his volume. So points-wise, if not staying the same, he's got a good chance to go up. And he's an absolute beast as well.
Absolutely. So that's it. So again, not looking at QB, I'm going to wait a bit later on that. There's nobody that really jumps out of that pile to say I need to go and get them right now. Stafford, Garoppolo, Goff, Rivers, Cousins, none of those are really jumping out at me.
Stafford one you got your eye on, is it?
No, it's just, as I'm saying, none of those are really leaping out at me. Tight end, again, I'm not looking at going down that route. Now a lot of those top guys have gone. Receivers, again, there's a ton of guys in there that have got a similar sort of potential. So I'm going to lean in a bit further on the running back heavy, and I'm going to grab Ingram. And then that gives me 5 backs in Zeke, Mixon, Sanders, Drake, and Ingram, which is pretty mega. I'm pretty happy with that in terms of running backs.
I respect a late QB strategy, but you're getting to the point now where you're late as in Phillip Rivers late, which is like in the coffin late. Exactly.
We're now when we're looking at Superflex, I could be leaving myself in a bit of a hole. But so again, this I think looking at most teams have already taken 2 now, so there's not going to be a ton go before it gets back to me again. There's only one team left. Well, that's all right then. That doesn't matter if I start taking one now, does it? So I think I'm going to grab another receiver because I've only got one at this point. And for me, I'm going to go for McLaurin.
Scary, yeah, good shout. He's got a chance of exploding this year, hasn't he? He's got the field all to himself, hasn't he? I know his QB play might not necessarily be great, but he's the undisputed wide receiver one on that team, and he's so good. Okay, so I've got Adams and AJ Brown. I've got a great QB room in Murray and Breeze. I think the upside there is incredible. I've got Mark Andrews, who I think has got tight end 1 potential. I've only got one running back, so I'm going to take another one now just to balance it out a little bit. I've got Dobbins, who dynasty-wise, I think is worth investing in all day long. Same as Taylor. Taylor's maybe got a little bit more value for this year as well. But if I'm going to take somebody who I need to score points this year, despite the contract stuff that's happened in the past week, I still think Mostert is the running back one on a Shanahan offense, which means he's going to be incredibly valuable. He's got money behind him, hasn't he? I still think he'll get a contract done as well. As long as he gets the workload. The danger there is always that they switch to somebody else gets the hot hand and they go a different direction. Yeah, and he has a week off, doesn't he? Yeah. I was actually tempted with Ronald Jones, and that's not a statement I ever thought I'd say a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Okay,
that Ronald Jones hype train is getting bigger and bigger.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. It's actually it's proper chewing, isn't it? So now I'm gonna go wide receiver because I do want to stick to the old wide receiver heavy thing, like we said at the beginning. So I'm really torn between 2 here. I'm torn between Hollywood. I'm torn between him and Devontae Parker. Now I've got 20 seconds, so I haven't got long to think about it. But I've got wide receiver 1 on the Ravens who don't throw as much but are the best offense, and I've got Parker who is the wide receiver 1 on an offense that isn't as good, but he's got a few more years in the league. I'm going to go Hollywood because I do think his second year is going to be much better. He had that screw in his foot all last year. Despite that, he still put up great numbers and he looked really good. So I think Hollywood's got a chance of jumping into that next stage next year where you'd be drafting him as a wide receiver 1. So yeah, I'm happy with him actually as my wide receiver 3.
Yeah. No, I like Hollywood this year. So
I
for me,
really like him this year actually.
For me, it's at this point we're either going QB or we're going receiver. So again, there's still a few guys that I like at QB. I'd have been tempted by Cousins if he'd have still been there at this point, but he went. So I think I'll pass on QB again this round, and I'll wait until next round and grab one
again.
Again. If Cousins had been there, I'd have taken him, but he's not. So I am going to go for somebody that's not had. I think if he's still there, unless I've missed him disappear. Oh, I did. It was Edelman. I was going to take Edelman. I run out of time now. I'll grab Parker because he's top of the list.
You rookie.
Because I was too busy chatting. Who I should have taken, had I looked at for 10 seconds longer, was Juju. That's who I should have taken at that spot.
Is Juju not gone yet?
No.
That's incredible. He's a great value. He's the 9th round.
So based on that, and given everybody so far in the second half of the draft has already got 2 QBs, I'm going to grab him now.
Yeah, mate. Look, regardless,
correct my mistake.
Yeah, regardless of your roster makeup, getting Juju in the 9th round is absolutely outrageous. That is a steal. You should be arrested, thrown in jail, probably beaten, and left there for a couple of days to think about what you've done.
Thanks, mate.
And what you've done is absolutely buggered your own team on QB. But anyway, so I've got a pretty balanced team now. I'm quite happy with where my team's at. So I'm going to stick to the wide receiver heavy strategy that we talked about at the beginning. I'd really want to go running back here, but I'm going to stick to wide receiver. I'm going to really start to load that position. I've got a lot of upside people here. I've got low floor, high upside people. You know what? Given the news about Debo, I've not been high on this guy at all. But Brandon Ayuk, I think now with Debo being out potentially for the first couple of weeks, or certainly being limited for the first couple of weeks, I think he's got something about him where he's going to get an awful lot of targets. I know he's a rookie wide receiver, and I really don't usually like drafting rookie wide receivers, but Kittle's obviously the number 1. But behind him, who's it going to be?
Absolutely,
we don't know. If Debo isn't there, if it is Ayuk, he's got everything about him saying that he can put up some incredible numbers. So I'm quite excited about him now. I'm really gutted that I don't have him anywhere in any dynasty leagues because I just didn't see him as having a pathway past Debo. But I suppose if he starts off the year really well, he could be pretty special. So I'm going to fill out the running back room now. Warrior Bowl is full PPR?
Half
PPR. Okay, so James White isn't the guy I'm going to go for then. So, yeah, I'm probably going to go for the guy then that I think is the last starting running back that I want a piece of, which is Jordan Howard. I know that the offense isn't as sexy, but I think I've heard a lot of people say that he's got the first and second down stuff to himself, and he does, and he's got all the goal line stuff. And if that offense takes a step up, they're going to score more touchdowns. So, yeah, I'm happy with having him there as well.
Yeah, I think that for me in that of that backfield, the guy that I would want is Breeder.
Yeah,
I know maybe Howard's got the head start on him, but I think Breeder's the more talented back. If he gets the opportunity, I think he will do well.
Yeah, I do like Breeder actually, but Jordan Howard's had 2,000-yard seasons, right?
Yeah,
rushing. Yeah. So he can run the ball, and he can run the ball well.
So for me, time to jump on a QB. I think. I don't know if he would actually be here this late or whether I'm still getting an advantage because of the ADP with his situation changing relatively recently. But I'm going to jump and grab Cam at that spot.
Oh, yeah, Cam. That's a great shout.
So, again, whether in a couple of weeks' time, whether he's still going that late, I don't know. But, yeah, I'm happy to grab him at that spot as my first QB. So then for my second guy, I'm probably going to grab another QB at this point. So we've got people like Carr, Roethlisberger, Bridgewater, Joe Burrow, Haskins, Darnold.
Yeah.
For me, I think the guy that I like, just because I think the offense takes another step forward. He's got some nice weapons there now, and he's not a terrible quarterback by any stretch of the imagination. Is Derek Carr.
Bring in the car.
So that gets me my 2 QBs. So now my team is looking relatively balanced. I've got 5 running backs. Yeah. I've got 4 receivers, and I've grabbed my 2 late QBs in Newton and Carr.
Yeah. I was going to take Tevin Coleman next, actually, to really secure that backfield in San Francisco, but he's gone just before me. So in that case, I'm going to reach down a little bit, and I'm going to take the guy that I think gets the full backfield there at Detroit. I really, really, really like Kerryon. I've got him in a couple of dynasty leagues, but he's just injured. He's just injured loads. And DeAndre Swift is coming into the draft, he was the number 1 prospect at running back, wasn't he? He was ahead of Clyde Edwards, he was ahead of Jonathan Taylor, he was ahead of J.K. Dobbins because he was the best balanced running back in the field. So the fact I'm getting him in an offense that hopefully does a little bit more this year with Kerryon, who's probably going to be injured or at the very least put to the fringes, I think I've got a bit of a bargain there, certainly down the back end. So I've absolutely reverted back to type and gone loads of backs, haven't I? Sorry about that. Let's go back to wide. Let's go back.
Well, we've got two more rounds because we're only doing 13 rounds on this, so you've only got 2 more rounds.
Let me get that wide receiver who's got that wide receiver 1 upside then. So you, I'm between 2. I'm between Deontay Johnson and N'Keal Harry. I'm going to go Harry because I think he's got a chance of being the 1 on his team, whereas you took Juju before, and I really do think Juju's still going to be number 1 on Pittsburgh. So Harry, I think, has that number 1 potential with Cam coming in to really explode this year. Hopefully he does. Still got him in a couple of leagues.
So I think for me, again, we're only doing 13 rounds, so we're only doing 3 bench spots when Warrior Bowl is 8 bench spots. So we'd have a few extra rounds on top of this. So
yeah,
I would probably, because I went late QB, I would grab a 3rd. Well, it's Superflex anyway, so I'm probably going to want to grab a 3rd QB regardless. But I'd probably go 3rd QB a little bit earlier than normal on that basis. Running backs, I'm pretty set. Receivers, I'd like to get some extra, but again, because we've only got 2 more rounds,
yeah,
I'm going to grab myself.
Your 4 receivers are good though, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab myself a tight end, and again, I probably wouldn't have gone tight end this early. I'd have probably tried to push it a little bit later.
Hayden Hurst is a sexy pick right now.
He's a popular option, isn't he? There's just it's volume, isn't it? There's nobody in front of him, and we saw what Hooper did last year in that offense.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, 3rd QB would be on the agenda, but I'll probably grab that a little bit later. Let's have a look. It's going to be a receiver or a QB. Let's see what we've got. So people like Robbie Anderson, Renfrew, who I quite like for this year. Justin Jefferson, Deontay Johnson, Preston Williams. I like both of them. They just both went just before me, so I might have been tempted to grab one of those guys. So actually, in fact, given a couple of those guys have gone, I think I might jump back and take that 3rd QB. And for me, the guy that, as long as he stays healthy, has probably got the potential for some big weeks based on matchups.
Big Ben.
Big Ben. So if he can stay healthy, then he will, I'm sure, put up some big weeks again.
Yeah, you can't argue with that. So I'm going to have to stick with wide receiver because that was the strategy at the start. There's a couple of guys with some big upside here. Assuming he stays on the team and there's no issues, I can't see anyone with a bigger upside right now than Deshaun Jackson on the Eagles, especially with Alshon being out for the first. He's potentially going to be on the pup, isn't he, to start the season? So Rager's probably going to take a little bit of the X work, whereas Deshaun's going to take his role in its entirety. And as when he's on the field and he's fit with Wentz, he's incredible. So I think he's got that real best ball upside. I think I've got him in a couple of best ball leagues, actually. He's got that best ball upside that can win you a week easy.
Absolutely.
Right, 3 bench spots. Weird, isn't it?
So yeah, it's just a little bit weird for having finished the draft. There's still plenty of spots to go. And as I say, it is Superflex, so most people are probably going to be looking to grab a 3rd QB at some point, although most teams haven't got one by the time we've got to the end of the 13th round. So having a quick run through. So for me, I've got Zeke, Mixon, Sanders, Drake, and Ingram at running backs. Receivers, Keenan Allen, Terry McLaurin, Devontae Parker, and Juju. The predetermined plan was to go running back heavy and QB late. So then later on, I've grabbed Cam Newton, Derek Carr, and Roethlisberger as my third, and Hayden Hurst at tight end. So
I've got one question for you, Sunshine.
Go for it.
Why did you make me do this? I hate it. I hate it.
You said not that long ago that you quite liked the way your team was shaping up.
Let me try. Let me have a proper look. Right.
So looking at my team just before we move off my team, I'd be reasonably happy walking away with that team.
I want your team.
I probably wouldn't have gone all those running backs that early. I'd have probably gone slightly less running back heavy, and I'd have grabbed a QB somewhere in there.
Beautiful.
They are. God knows I love a running back early. I think my Scott Fishbowl draft proved that quite clearly.
Yeah, so did mine.
I think I probably would have grabbed a QB at some point in there, maybe around 3 or 4. Someone like Josh Allen, Matt Ryan, somebody in that sort of in that sort of region, and sacrifice the running back. But other than that, actually, considering I went so late on QB, I'd be pretty happy to walk away with that.
If you've got Cam Newton, who's close to what he was before, Carr, who is being tipped for a real bounce back year, and a couple of years ago was a real good QB, and now he's got some real weapons there. And you got Big Ben, who historically has been one of the best fantasy QBs in the league, injuries permitting. You've got a chance there of having an absolute steal at QB with those running backs that just make me want to roll around naked in a tub of beans.
That is...
Think about that.
Incredibly disturbing. I will not be able to think about anything else, sadly.
Well, that was the point.
Imprinted into my mind forever.
I need to get some revenge, because looking at my team, it's not what I do. So QB, Kyler Murray, Drew Brees, and I would have took a third one later on as well. So Kyler Murray and Drew Brees I've got a lot of time for. Tight end Mark Andrews. I'd love to have Mark Andrews on teams, but I've got him on no teams because he goes too high. But having him on a team feels good, because I think he's got what he had last year, which is very, very, very good, plus Hayden Hurst got out of the way, more trust with Lamar Jackson. He's going to have a better year this year, injuries aside and all the rest of it. So you've got Mark Andrews as potentially the tight end one, which I know we're not tight end premium, are we? But that's a lot of points compared to your tight end 4 and 5, because the gap there is so big. So I'm really happy to have Mark Andrews on my team, actually. So looking at running backs, Gurley, I think, has got a chance of bouncing back to being a mid-range RB1. So I'm happy with that. Mostert is a risk, but he's got that upside. Howard, Swift are both a little bit risky, but you're filling in kind of rounds 10 and 11 there, which isn't bad, I suppose, for that late. From a wide receiver standpoint, Adams got a lot of time for that. Love that. AJ Brown has got the upside of being big time, and so has Marquise Brown as well. Brandon Ayuk is a kind of swing for the fences. And N'Keal Harry, I've actually gotten a lot of places this year because I've got a lot of belief in N'Keal Harry this year, and Sean Jackson, I think, has got a lot of upside as well. So I don't necessarily hate the team. I don't necessarily love the team. It's the kind of team that I wouldn't be surprised if I was in the playoffs or even in the final with, but it's also the kind of team that I wouldn't be surprised if I just thought by week 7, can't be arsed with this, cancel. Because someone made me go, no running back.
Yeah.
Don't make me do it.
It's an experiment. It's an
Horrible.
Experiment.
Horrible.
And that's the thing, even with and obviously you were intentionally taking running backs late and QBs early just to see how we ended up. And we'll put these on Twitter and people can let us know what they think, which they prefer. But even like with the tight end, and you said about it's nice to have like an Andrews or a Kittle or a Kelsey on your team.
Yeah. It feels weird.
See, I never go tight end early. And occasionally when I try it in a mock, I always just walk away not liking my team because I don't normally because I don't like the running backs because they've suffered as a result of taking that early tight end. I know, and especially in a lot of tight end premium leagues and those sorts of things, it makes sense to go tight end early, but I still just can't bring myself to take that tight end early. So there we go. That is our Warrior Bowl mock draft.
Most importantly, people, sign up. You've got some days left, some spots left, but not too many. It's all for charity. You get to play against the best in the business and get beaten by the best in the business, also known as Sunshine and Foley. Am I right?
Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And that's it. There's a couple more days left. So invites are going to start going out for Warrior Bowl in the next few days. So there's a couple of days left to get your sign-ups in. So we'll make sure that the link is all over Twitter and it'll be on YouTube where this video is. But it's warriorbowl.com. All the details for the league are on there. The format, the rules, the charities that all the money's going to support. So yeah, get yourself signed up in the next couple of days. Invites will start going out within the next week. And then we'll be getting the drafts fired up and ready to go for early August. So
there's only one question that people need to ask themselves, isn't there?
What's that?
Do you want to be the ultimate warrior?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Who
okay,
doesn't?
thanks.
Who doesn't want to be the ultimate fantasy football warrior? The first ever
That's
ultimate fantasy football warrior.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And again, we've got people signed up from 19 countries across 6 continents. We've got fans, we've got analysts. So yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be a great event. So yeah, get yourself signed up. You've got a couple of days left to do that before that closes. So as I say, we'll pop these on Twitter for you to let us know what your thoughts are. And yeah,
Be kind.
Yes. Remember, Foley was forced into this strategy.
I didn't want to do it.
So thank you very much for joining us. Hope you found that useful, and we'll see you again soon.
God bless.